Welcome to Mentoring with the Masters. My name is Jennifer Kuyrkendall. I'm the Third Circuit representative for the Young Lawyers Division Board of Governors. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Mike Schneider. Mike is both the Executive Director and the General Counsel for the JQC. Mike, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, can you tell us what is the JQC?
The JQC is it's a small little entity that was established in the Florida Constitution to investigate allegations of judicial misconduct and judicial disability. And it's an interesting little separate agency, probably the smallest agency in the state of Florida.
So that's going back some of the history of it. How was it actually established?
It was established by the Constitution in 1968, and initially it was a one body, and now it's divided into an investigative panel and a hearing panel.
So what all is the purpose of the JQC?
Well, the purpose is to evaluate a judge's conduct and behavior, and it is not to review a judge's rulings or decisions. We're not part of the court system, so we don't have the ability to review decisions. For example, if a judge rules incorrectly on the law, we don't have any jurisdiction to deal with that. If the judge rules correctly but is discourteous to the litigants, then that would be the sort of matter that the commission would look at. The commission also looks at judges that may have some physical or mental disabilities and are no longer fit for service, and the commission has jurisdiction over judges' behavior 24/7.
How does the JQC actually operate?
Well, the commission has a website. It's floridajqc.com, and there is a complaint form on our website. And when we receive complaints, and we receive about 600-700 a year now, and when we receive those complaints, the investigative panel reviews every complaint, and a majority of the complaints are summarily dismissed because they either don't involve judges that we have jurisdiction over, or they involve disputes about the legal process. For example, we don't have any jurisdiction over magistrates or hearing officers. We only have Article 5 judges within our jurisdiction, and those are district, circuit, county, and Supreme Court justices.
You mentioned the investigative panel. What is the role of the investigative panel?
The role of the investigative panel is to receive complaints and to review them to see if there's a reasonable basis to go forward. At that point, if there is, the judge will be invited to come to the commission. Usually it meets in Orlando or Tampa, and because the commission members come from throughout the state. And the judge is invited to share concerns that the commission has about that matter, and if the commission is satisfied that there's nothing there, the matter is dismissed. If the investigative panel feels that they're satisfied with the judge's response, it may be dismissed at that point, or there may be a private admonishment. Or if it's a matter that's serious or persistent, it may be referred on to the hearing panel. And the investigative panel functions mostly like analogous to a grand jury. It finds whether or not there's probable cause to go forward. The hearing panel is made up of judges. The investigative panel is made up of judges, lawyers, and lay people. And the commission is made up with 6 judges, 5 lay people appointed by the governor, and 4 lawyers appointed by the Florida Bar, and they're all volunteers.
You've mentioned the hearing panel. How are the people for the hearing panel selected?
The hearing panel is selected. They cannot have voted as the investigative panel, and the chair of the commission selects them. And there are 2 lawyers, 2 judges, and 2 lay people, and they function. The hearing transpires like a normal civil hearing. The rules of civil procedure pretty much apply. But the difference is that the panel sits as a body, and they all sit sort of like a county commission meeting. They all have a say-so in it. And if they feel that the allegations are confirmed, they make findings and recommendations, and they send those to the Florida Supreme Court for an ultimate disposition.
For the hearing itself, is it conducted essentially like a trial? You have a prosecutor and somebody defending the judge?
It is. We generally hire outside counsel to prosecute, and the judge generally has an attorney to represent them. So it's a pretty much like a regular trial. There's a distinction between what the commission does and the Florida Bar does in terms of grievances. Up until the matter is filed as a formal charge and it's before the hearing panel, everything is confidential. The judge never gets a copy of the complaint. The complainant is never revealed to the judge, and that's for a couple reasons. One is for retaliation, and the other is to promote people to come forward and make complaints, because a judge is a powerful person, and it's not a fair fight between a litigant or a lawyer and a judge. And so that's why that protection is there. Now, once it's filed in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court acts as our clerk. And then from that point forward, all the proceedings are public. Prior to that, all the proceedings are confidential.
You mentioned the online process. Is that the only way to file a complaint? If you could talk about that and the actual complaint procedure. You
can certainly, anybody can write the commission. Our rules require that a complaint be filed in writing, that be signed. But there's no particular form. A letter, an inmate letter is fine, a letter from someone, and this commission can also on its own find out about things. Judges will call us, chief judges, other judges will look in the newspaper. I mean, we had several cases where judges were arrested for DUIs and we didn't get we were already in process before we got any complaints about that. But that complaint process is, all the complaints are then processed through by staff and presented to the investigative panel, which meets every 6 weeks.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add, Mike?
Well, the commission is, since it's a separate entity and it's not a part of the court system, the commission, the name is a little misleading. We don't disqualify judges and we don't qualify judges. So there is a process for someone to disqualify a judge from a particular case, but the commission is not involved with that. The commission would only look at the behavior that would have prompted that. And since complaints to the commission are confidential, it's not appropriate to disclose the fact that you've made a complaint against a judge.
For instance, if you move to disqualify the judge after you've made a complaint, don't mention that in that motion.
That would be the most appropriate, and there's a case out there, 5H Corporation versus Padovano, that says that filing a complaint against a judge doesn't necessarily require the judge to disqualify from a case.
Okay, Mike, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Excellent information. And that concludes this video of Mentoring with the Masters. Thank you for watching.